The Lakers just got some bad news. If you saw the news or if you didn't, Christian Wood just had a procedure done on his knee, and so he will be out for at least 8 weeks. Not only is this bad news because Christian Wood was going to be in the rotation, but also they don't have that much depth at the center position. Because really, their only center is technically Anthony Davis, who we've heard many, many times does not even like to play the 5. So now he really has no choice. I know they have Jackson Hayes, but Jackson Hayes is not going to play more minutes than Anthony Davis. And then you could also technically run Jared Vanderbilt at the 5, which I'm sure they'll do sometimes. But again, the point is they really don't have a true center on the roster anymore, except technically Anthony Davis. To me, though, this is the same issue that they've had since their 2020 championship run. And I've talked about it in videos before. I don't understand why they have gone away from what worked for them. The thing is, this has nothing to do with Christian Wood. Do I think that he would add value to the team being there? Obviously, we know he could shoot the 3, space the floor, and stuff like that. But he is not even the type of center that they had when they were on their championship run. They had a Dwight Howard, a JaVale McGee. And while those two players are not in the league anymore right now, although Dwight Howard is still playing overseas, and, doing his thing. However, I understand maybe at this point, 4 years down the line, those two wouldn't be on the roster anymore because of their age. That style of play literally made them win a championship. I understand there were other reasons, but that was one of the things that separated them because, one, Anthony Davis got to play the 4, which he likes to do. So that's already a big thing in itself. But also, Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee were very, very good defenders, rim protectors, enforcers, if you want to call them. We saw the whole thing when they played Denver and Dwight Howard was just, bothering Jokic, so to speak. Obviously, good players and great players like Jokic will get their, whatever they're going to get, their numbers. But we remember that series as Dwight Howard kind of shutting down Jokic in a way. And it made literally zero sense to me when they let both of them go. Like, they were really good. Maybe there's things behind the scenes that we don't know. I always like to say that because, I don't know these people as people. Like, I don't know them in person or anything like that. I don't know what goes on in the locker room. But if none of that was an issue, then I literally can't understand why they would go away from what worked. And again, okay, hindsight's 2020, should have kept Dwight Howard, fine. But we're, 4 or 5 years later now at this point, and they still aren't constructing the roster the way that it worked for them. I understand trying different things. The league is always changing. Everybody wants to have 3-point shooting big men. That's why Christian Wood is also on the roster, because he is someone who is a big man who could shoot the 3 and stretch the floor. And I have no issue with that. And I think that's a great thing to have. But I feel like the way that this team, you have LeBron and Anthony Davis. You need a center. Because when LeBron was on the Cavs, think about it, the second time around. So just ignore the Miami time for a second. The second time around when he was on the Cavs, when he won the championship in 2016, those years, who did they have? They had Kevin Love as who could technically play center, but he played the 4. He, shot the 3. I couldn't think of what I was going to say. So who did they have? They had Kevin Love, who technically is a big man, and he could, play center if he needed to. However, he was shooting 3s very well, might I add. We know he was shooting the lights out with the Cavs. So he was there shooting 3s, but he also did and could post you up. And then what did they have? They had a center in Tristan Thompson, who, what was his job? Be the enforcer. I'm not saying he was Dwight Howard. They're a little bit different in their style and just different skill sets in a way. What I'm saying is, Tristan Thompson, what did he do? He 8 rebounds. And when I say 8 rebounds, I mean he would come in the game and it was just he had 5 rebounds in 2 minutes. His job, he would clean off the glass, get all the rebounds he could, push people out of the way, so to speak. Just be in the center position. Just basically kind of doing the dirty work in a way at the center position. And so Dwight Howard was doing that with the Lakers, and JaVale McGee to an extent as well. And so think about it. That formula worked when LeBron was on the Cavs. Now he's on the Lakers, and he has someone like Anthony Davis, who is, as we saw, thrived playing the 4 position when Dwight and JaVale McGee was there. So I don't understand why they wouldn't go back to that. And if you take Anthony Davis out of the equation, I just explained to you, that formula works with LeBron. We know LeBron needs shooters around him. We get that. So like 3-point shooters, he needs that because, you know, he's a really, really good passer. He's going to kick it out and find somebody for an open look. So that's besides the point. But like having a true center on the roster just makes sense paired with LeBron. Because again, let's say Anthony Davis wasn't there. You want someone to do the dirty work, so to speak. Just like, you know, battle down low and just make it easier so LeBron can do all the other things that he does so well. Because I bet you if LeBron really wanted, he could play center. I'm not saying like the whole game. I'm just saying like, you know, LeBron could probably play every single position for the most part. I understand he's not the best shooter. So like someone might say he can't play the 2 guard, but you know what I mean. Like LeBron can basically play every position. I feel like the Lakers are trying to develop young talent to have after LeBron leaves. Like I feel like that's part of why they picked up Rui Hachimura, although they basically got him for nothing. So like that was a steal, honestly. Any team would have done that deal. But like Rui, you got Austin Reeves, all these young players who are playing very well. I understand Rui had an up and down season last year, but I'm just saying like we saw how well he played in the year before in the playoffs. I'm just saying like they have some young talent. But LeBron, like, I don't know how to explain it. I just feel like it's not the best fit. I think Austin Reeves, let me just say that. Austin Reeves fits perfectly with LeBron. No issue there. So like Austin Reeves can stay. I don't see an issue. And I don't think Rui is a bad fit, but I don't think he's the best fit and he's not a true center. So like if he's on the floor, Anthony Davis has to play the 5. I guess they did kind of put Rui at the center when like they would play Denver and he would guard Jokic. And I remember for a while they were like calling him the Jokic stopper, but like how long did that last? There was no way Rui was going to be able to guard Jokic. Not by himself at least. Because obviously they didn't want Anthony Davis taking that on all by himself because they need him on the offensive end too, and just to do other things, protect the rim. So like, it was just like a lose-lose situation. And guess what? If you had Dwight Howard on the roster again, Anthony Davis could roam around and do other things. So this is just bad news because it only gives them less options at the center position as they were already thin. Anthony Davis basically has to play the 5 now. I don't see a scenario where he can't, where he doesn't, or where he just has to. Again, I said you could play Jared Vanderbilt at the 5, technically, like start him at the 5, I guess, but like I'd rather start Vando at the 4 and Anthony Davis at the 5. Like it just makes more sense. Everybody knows that. And the problem is the off season is basically over. Like the amount of centers, especially doing what they would need, are not really out there on the market anymore. And to be fair, I know they were targeting Valanciunas. How realistic that was the report, I don't know. But if it was, I thought and I think that would have been a good fit. Valanciunas may not be, Dwight Howard, but at least he would be someone who would have a presence in the paint, just, make it easier for Anthony Davis, like those kind of things. So I would have liked that pickup. But since that didn't happen, the Lakers need to figure this out. If I was the Lakers, I would figure out how to make a trade to get honestly, how about Clint Capella? Clint Capella would be a perfect fit. Clint Capella, again, may not be Dwight Howard, but he is someone who does those kind of things. Like, that is someone they need. And Clint Capella definitely is not going to cost them a ton of picks.